This story was originally going to be the season opener of Doctor Who season 26. However, I actually think it serves better as a season finale. So it actually works really well being the penultimate story of this season. Let's dive into The Curse of Fenric. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who Season 26, Story 3, The Curse of Fenric, the penultimate classic series story. And wow, what a way to tie up the series, tie up the character development of Ace. I mean, she still gets a few bits in Survival, she's still got some character development, and that's still got to come. But Curse of Fenric, wow, this is a brilliant story. For starters, like I said in the pre-titles and in the Ghostlight review, this story was supposed to be the first story of the season. However, like I said at the end of the Ghostlight review, I think that would have undermined the Seventh Doctor and Ace's development. I think it would have undermined their characters and their relationship with each other. However, being placed towards the end of the season, I think that then allows Battlefield and Ghostlight to develop the pair's relationship together and their friendship, and then we get to Curse of Fenric, where they kind of clash a little bit a few times before. In the end, they're still besties at the very end, and they've still got one more story plus a few Wilderness Year stuff and expanded media. But I think Curse of Fenric was moved rightly to its third spot, because I think if it was first, it would undermine the Seventh Doctor and Ace's relationship. I keep wanting to say Ace first, but then I want to say the Doctor, so it keeps going to Eighth Doctor instead of Seventh Doctor. Sorry. So I'm glad that it was moved to third place, and also it was because it was a better story suited for October. Well, last week of October going into November. Yeah, it does work pretty much for what would essentially be the Halloween story. Or at least the story that Halloween that was being told over the course when Halloween took place that year. Speaking of which, it's October now. It's being filmed on the 15th, so this review will be coming out shortly afterwards. So not too long before Halloween. Halloween 2019. So yeah, I think and it makes sense to have this story as the Halloween story of the season. Well, the story when being told when Halloween is. It's it's kind of a creepy horror film. It's also got this historical Viking legend that plays a big part in it. And it turns out that Fenric, a evil entity being, has been trapped here since the 9th century, sort of being trapped in some sort of oriental ornament that's been taken from Turkey, from Turkey by Vikings, I think, and they've traveling from Norway to England. They've arrived here at Maiden's Bay, now Maiden's Point, and they are attacked by the curse. So over the course of the last few centuries, Fenric has attacked the descendants of the last Vikings have become the wolves of Fenric as part of his pawn to bring them all back at the very end, and so he can find himself a body. So this is where we come to our 1943 setting. So this is the first story to actually take place during World War II. I don't know if we have had a World War I set, well, sort of, with the War Games. But yeah, this is the first story to take place in World War II. And it's on a naval base. The Doctor and Ace turn up at a naval base to meet a Dr. Jensen. He's working on a machine not too dissimilar to Alan Turing and company at Bletchley Park. Jensen's working on a machine that could hopefully break the German code, as well as Viking inscriptions on the walls in the church. And we also get introduced to Commander Millington and the Reverend Weybridge. Reverend Weybridge. Weybridge is a good character. He's supposed to be he's the vicar of the parish, but his faith has started to dwindle due to the British bombing Germany, as he finds. I suppose he finds his country bombing innocent Germans to be nasty, to be unkind. That's about I mean, he wouldn't be happy with the Germans bombing the British, but I suppose he lost faith in his people when they started attacking them. So no one being saying the British could have been the better people, but they didn't. I mean, that's what I take from it. He's not a German sympathizer. He just doesn't like war, which makes a lot of sense. And you can kind of agree with him. He also believes that no one is victorious in war, although there is one person who disagrees with him in that, and that is this superstitious old woman who is looking after 2 evacuees, and she pretty much slates him for saying that there's no victors in war, which nowadays we would say actually he's right. He's absolutely right. But this old woman is a superstitious old bag who, I don't know, she just the chance every chance she gets, she can slate somebody, whether it's having an opinion on war or if it's someone wanting to go down to Maiden's Bay, or Point, I should say, Maiden's Point, and have a swim because there's evil down there, but she doesn't explain why straight away. If you calm down about all your superstitious stuff, lady, just calm down. Don't get so scared. Just calmly tell them why before you snap at them. So I don't like having religious, superstitious people in TV and media. I mean, you do have to show them for story context in some places, but they can just get all superstitious or religious and go, blah 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 blah. You can't do this, you can't do that. You have to do this, you have to do that. It gets annoying after a while. Thankfully, she's not on screen that much, so. Like I said, some characters are important to their respective stories, but they can go over the top sometimes. And when they're over the top, they are really over the top. And this one is kind of, a bit over the top. You wicked, evil girls! See? Excuse me. She does, however, get a comeuppance. Although, that being said, she is sort of right. However, she doesn't really have anything to back up that claim. So, if she has survived this story and then after the events of the story, she'd still say, "Oh, there's evil down there." She would be wrong this time. It's once everything's sorted out. Sometimes it's not the case. In this case, it is the case. And these 2 evacuee girls that she's looking after, they go down and have a swim anyway. And on their return, I should say, they do get captured by the Hemivores and turned into vampires. Oh, yes, the Halloween story getting more Halloween-y. Although I think this episode would have broadcast after Halloween. It's the 25th. Okay, episode 2 would have aired on the 2nd of November. So right afterwards. I think episode 2 is when they do transform into vampires. Anyway, Phyllis and... What's the sister? I'll just call them the girls. The girls get turned into vampires, and they go after the killing the old bag. Told you she got a comeuppance. They then go after Weybridge, I believe that is his name. But the Doctor and Ace have been actually kind of running around, trying to find out information, and they've kind of been going back and forth between places and stuff. That doesn't mean there's not anything interesting or good happening. They do quite a lot of stuff, including Ace meeting her future mother and grandmother, maternal grandmother, although she won't realise it until at the end. Soon the Doctor, Ace and Weybridge are in a race against time to stop Fenric from returning, and Eventually, they find, with help from the Russians, they find what they're looking for, but at the same time, the Hemivores are on the rise, and we get a really cool reveal of the Hemivores, and their design is actually quite interesting. I mean, from the budget they had, they actually look pretty convincing. Some really good makeup jobs or masks there. Well done, production team. For a 1989 budget, that is impressive. But thanks, with help from the Russians, the Dr. Ace and Weybridge find what they're looking for. However, the Millington takes it off them because he's getting a bit power mad over the thoughts of Fenric. I don't know what his plan is. I mean, the plan he has for the Russians is to let them steal the machines. That's what they've come for. And then the British are going to kill the Russians by activating the machine when the Russians decipher the word love, I should say, when transmitted in a code by the British. So it's all a matter of double. So they're kind of leading them into a trap at that same point. However, Millington's now starting to become obsessed with Fenric, and he's going a bit crazy. Going a bit mad. However, at the end of part 3, Weybridge is dead because he had the stupid idea of standing near the bulkhead doors when the Hemivores got themselves through, and they killed him. Yeah, idiot. He should have stuck with the Doctor. And then after Jensen deciphers the code, Fenric uses his body. Millington goes all crazy again, and the Russians and the British have a fight. Until they realise, oh shit, we shouldn't be fighting each other, we should help each other. Idiots. So eventually they all team up to fight Fenric, apart from Millington, who's still mad. But one of the Russians kills him when he's being distracted by a Brit. And Jensen takes over the body of another Russian, one that kind of had a sort of thing for Ace, and she had a thing for him. And Ace manages to get her future mother and grandmother out of the camp safely. And the Doctor and Fenric have a game of chess. And Ace accidentally reveals what the code is to win to Fenric. However, the Doctor has a backup plan, and he reveals that Fenric reveals that Ace had been one of his wolves all along, and reveals about her mother and grandmother. And the Doctor then realises he knew all along. Since they mentioned Silver Nemesis, but they also go as far back as Dragonfly. So this has kind of been set up since then. And to be honest, this is Ian Briggs' second script. And to be honest, Ian Briggs returns for this story after Dragonfly. And like with Steve Gallagher with Warrior's Gate and Terminus, he masterfully, and Christopher Bailey, I believe it was, with on Kinder and Snake Dance, Ian Briggs masterfully improves. Ian Briggs vastly improves on this story over his second story over the first. Vastly, a massive improvement. And a nice nod to Silver Nemesis, an underrated gem, in my opinion. Not as much as Happiness Patrol, but still. Doctor then gets Ace to lose her faith in him. So that's the Ancient One, I suppose the last Hemivore, can fight back Fenric. To be honest, that's the only thing that Ancient One was really only there for. I think that was it. He wasn't really that needed throughout the rest of the story. Eventually afterwards, the Doctor and Ace then make amends, and Ace stops being scared of her mother and or something. She has to swim in the water. And at the very end, they decide to go back to the TARDIS. Woo! End of the story. So, Curse of Fenric. Brilliant story. Really well done. Great performances from the cast, especially Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred. This could be their best performances of, best performances, possibly in this story. Also, some of the guest cast are really good. I do think Anne Reid's nurse character is pointless. I mean, the guy is a cripple, yeah, but does he need a nurse? Dr. Jensen, thankfully, no, I don't have it, thankfully. Reid does do a good performance, but I don't think the character's that necessary. So he gets killed off just because as well. Millington is a dick character. He's got some okay moments, but he's a dick character nevertheless, especially when he goes mad. I don't even know why he goes mad. He just goes mad. And the actor does good, though, as does the guy playing Jensen / Fenric, and the guy playing the Russian soldier, who's the captain who then becomes Fenric. Sort of having a sort of romance with Ace. It's strange. Ace is said to be a lesbian in Survival, but she's kind of being attracted to some guys, like in this story and in Remembrance of the Dance. Maybe she's bisexual. And then we also have Nicholas Parsons as the vicar. He's really good, but I think his death in part 3 was pointless. I think he could have had a better death later on. And the two girls, they do all right. Although is it me? Or is those London accents really thick? Possibly. And like I said, the old bag. Again, not really a fan of the character. The actress does a good job though. Like I said, the Hemovores are greatly designed and greatly the great masks and costumes for a 1989 budget. That is really good. And also, 2 of them are apparently played by Sylvester McCoy's sons. So that's a nice fun fact. Location work looks really great. I think it's mostly location-based set, but I think there's enough scenes, a couple of scenes that are set in a studio. And the whole story just works really well. And I love the tie-ins with Ace's character and with the Doctor and how he's more than just another Time Lord. And it just all works so brilliantly and it ties up together so well. So on the whole, The Curse of Fenric is a brilliant, brilliant story. I was close to giving it a 10 out of 10, but there was a few points that didn't really work, a few points that didn't make sense. Well, not make sense. Quite a lot of it does make sense at the end. But there was a few points that I didn't like and a few points that I think were unnecessary and some things that do kind of knock it down to a 9. So I'm going to be giving The Curse of Fenric a 9 out of 10. But it's still a really strong story. One of the best of the McCoy era, alongside its following story, Survival, the final story of classic Doctor Who, and to wrap up this season. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for the final classic Doctor Who adventure, as you can see on this sticker. Hopefully. Survival. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who, hang on, I'm going to do another 3 titles. Now this is a penultimate story. Now... and then over the course of the following 10 centuries, 21 centuries, because this is set in the 1940s. So the following 11 centuries, from 9th to 20th. In the 20th century, although one person who doesn't agree with him on the whole, although one person who doesn't agree with him in the fact that he does not believe in people victory. He also believes in people... You wicked! Wicked! I mean, there is some sort of evil down there. However, for her, it's superstitious nonsense. No, not. Anyway, so... I mean, not as impressive as if it was done nowadays. We'd make him probably even better. But for a 1989 budget, that is really good. Okay, and then Fenric, and then after deciphering the codes, Fenric escapes. Oh, itching fucking nose. Ow. And the doctor then used so so on the whole, wrong story. Yeah, I do like it though. Yeah, but I do think it's a yeah.